What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today I am going to be doing a 2-round mock draft because I realized I screwed up my last one in terms of the draft order because PFF just loves to not update their mock draft simulators. So that's on me, guys, but instead of being like this guy saying, okay, we'll just push on with it, which would still would be fun to do a round 2, I might as well just do rounds 1 and 2 all over again. So let's have some fun here. Let's enjoy it. If you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to just say this. I absolutely, again, no disrespect to the people who own NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. I do not think it's good at all. I am thoroughly embarrassed to actually have to use it, and it really sucks that we can't use PFF. So from the bottom of my heart, I do apologize for that because it doesn't look professional. And again, I know a lot of people do like it. I'm not a fan. It doesn't look good to me. So you guys will see right below myself. You guys will see, I guess this is how you guys would see it. It's going to be my actual big board. And let me know if you guys want this. Maybe it's too many things to look at. Just let me know because we're testing new things out. But I think the second round is probably where we're going to see the most changes. And I'm praying to the Lord Jesus that this is updated. I swear I am going to lose my shit if not. But honestly, it'll be a pretty fun reaction video anyway. Let's kick right into this, starting off with the number 1 pick. We're not going to do trades just solely because I don't really trust this mock draft simulator, and also I just have absolutely no fucking idea how to use it, and I've tried doing trades before and it's atrocious. So we're just going to, relax and have a good time, have 2 rounds here. So if Detroit is sitting at number 1, it's pretty obvious where we have to go here. I know a lot of people, a lot of my Lions fans do not want to go quarterback. I know a lot of y'all don't, but interesting the way that they're setting up their big board too. By the way, I have Jaren Hall as a UDFA. He's the worst graded player I've ever seen. But it's obvious you guys have set yourself up with Jameson Williams. You guys have a good offensive line. You have a really good running game. You have pieces on the defense. And I know that with a couple more, and we do have 2 rounds here, which, holy crap, we are going to have a lot of picks. I don't know why it includes pick 64 in this, because obviously pick 63 is the end of the second round, given the fact that Miami lost their first. But we have 4 picks that we have to address that, and that's going to be super fun in this. So I'm going to go Bryce Young here. Again, you got to be able to select a top-end value position at this spot. I think it's certainly worth it. By the way, I do know you can trade right up here. I'm not going to. I just don't believe in it with this mock draft simulator. I don't know how it works, and I don't trust it. So, yeah, if the number 1 pick has to be Bryce Young. Again, issues are his size and pretty much his injury history due to his size. But he's actually remained relatively healthy given the fact that his offensive line's been kind of booty cheeks. So, good for him. Good for him, honestly. Pick number 2 with Houston. Again, we're starting out, the top of the draft looks pretty similar all around. We could mess around and see, could we get Hendon Hooker in round 2? The question is, can you, actually afford that? And you potentially could, and maybe one of these, maybe next week we can try that. But we have to keep it semi-realistic here and go with someone like CJ Stroud, because you have to at least take a shot on something working in the quarterback position. And I'm not ready to crown Will Levis anywhere close to that. I'm just going to be honest. So you guys get to see, I know it's probably a little bit small for you guys. It's a little hard to see my my big board, but, I'm trying to do my best to show you guys something like that while having the main content be right here. So if you guys can see it, awesome. If not, we'll take it out in the future. Regardless, I'm going to go with CJ Stroud here. Again, it's a super valuable position. You just have to engage your audience by being able to actually have some hope that your signal caller is going to be that type of guy. Let's go to number 3 here with Carolina. They have a multitude of picks, including that second rounder from San Francisco. I am not drafting Will Levis. Again, I did this in my last mock draft, and I think I still should do it. To me, it's down to just super unique players, and that's Will Anderson as well as Jalen Carter. Will Anderson's going to be my guy, though. Pairing him up with Brian Burns is a ridiculous duo. Now, the Steelers at pick number 4, I am choosing Jalen Carter 10 out of 10 times. Again, Hayward's not going to last forever. And, we lost to it. That sucks. So getting somebody who could be a formidable beast in that interior, to me, feels like the best case scenario. And I wanted to mention, someone brought this up in a comment, and I thought it was awesome. They talked about Jordan Addison being paired up with Kenny Pickett. Now, not at 4, but the Steelers are like, hey, listen, man, we got a lot of issues. Let's trade back. Let's get even more draft capital, maybe a future first as well, and we can be chilling, and then get Jordan Addison there because, Chase is gone. You have 2 top-tier wide receivers. I would think that'd be a pretty cool option. Obviously, Addison won the Biletnikoff Award with Kenny Pickett. It would not be atrocious. Jacksonville, if you're sitting here at number 5, again, wide receivers certainly could be in the realm. You did trade a potential hefty amount for Calvin Ridley, but that is heavily dependent on whether he works or does not. Offensive line, I still think, is a potential concern, but I do want to still look at corner. I love that idea of a corner on your team. There were rumors, I guess now that we're after the trade deadline, there were rumors about Josh Allen being traded. He's not. So positions I really want to target, probably corner and offensive line. So those are the 2 where I really need to hammer it. And at number 5 overall, you have to get the best value on the board. And let's see how awful the rankings are. It's not atrocious. It's not good, but it's not atrocious. So I think Joey Porter is an absolute stud, but I also think Kelee Ringo, if we were doing trades, I would say trade back with a team like maybe Tampa Bay that would want to jump the Raiders for a quarterback. But to me, this has to be Kelee Ringo. You just have to be able to continue boosting your secondary. It's not doing too well. Griffin has not been too hot. I thoroughly believe that that is a good position to target, and we have other picks to be able to address stuff like offensive line. Pick number 6. We all know this one. We're just continuing the trend from yesterday. This is the 1 year you can get out of Derek Carr's contract. There's a loophole in it where you save $110 million just by cutting him this year. If you're at number 6 overall, and honestly it doesn't look like there's much hope of a Super Bowl ever with the Carr era, you need to try something new. Save some money. Put that elsewhere. If Will Levis doesn't work out, there's plenty of quarterbacks every other year. Hell, start saving up for Arch Manning for fuck's sake. So Will Levis at pick number 6, going to be the guy. Pick number 7, Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'm not going to be that crazy and end up going after Bijan Robinson or something crazy at the spot. I do like to get running back for them, but you do have to pick 44, and that's going to be good enough. I'm looking at Myles Murphy here, and I just think that's a BPA. And if you're stuck in this position where it's like, dude, we're not going to have Tom. We might still have Tom, but I think Tom, if he feels like hope's lost, he's going to leave anyway. It's a spot to go after either offensive line or defensive, and it's just a good spot to try to take BPA. I think Myles Murphy is the best player in the draft, so being able to address that certainly to me is the prime position to target. At pick number 8, so Philadelphia, this is obviously not your own pick. This is from New Orleans. Again, this is why I absolutely detest this mock draft simulator. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't. Again, no disrespect to the people who create this, because again, I'm using it because no one else is, good enough. Just if I would not want to put my name on it, and the fact that there's a suggestion of Bijan Robinson here makes me want to puke, but that's a-okay. For me, it's down to edge and cornerback. Again, I think the offensive line's looking pretty damn solid for the future. I don't really think anyone's retiring. That would drastically shape the franchise. I think Beef Jurgens could go and, take over that center spot if need be. But wide receiver, no. Running back, definitely not addressing it at number 8 overall. Quarterback, no. Line, we just already addressed that. Tight end, no. So let's focus on the defensive side. Linebacker ain't going to be a target. I know that corner isn't exactly a target either. And again, Myles Murphy is my dream for this team. So it's really down to corner or edge. And I think I got to go edge. I really do. Or not edge, excuse me. I got to go corner with Joey Porter. I really do think if you aren't able to address getting Garrett Bradbury back, and he's an expensive guy to bring back, it's the best case scenario for the team. Pick number 9, not number 11. That's really going to bug me. Pick number 9, Houston's back. And you look at the guys on the board. Brandon Cooks was not dealt, which is pretty insane. I really did think he was gone. A lot of people are going to cry for Brian Bresee. I'm not doing that shit. I'm sorry. I'm not. I think offensive line and edge rusher are the 2 positions I'd really want to target. And this edge rushing class is extremely deep. I think I would really love Peter Skoronski to play guard in the short-term tackle in the long. Again, I do think that right tackle should be something you're trying to address, and Peter needs to get comfortable with that. Now, you could try to go after someone like Anton Harrison. This list is absolute butt cheeks. Darnell Wright could be a good target later on, but I feel like I would draft him. Like, literally my favorite tackle is not on here. Are you kidding me? This is actually going to make me lose my mind. They have all these people, but they do not have my number one tackle in the draft. I love it. Regardless, I think Paris Johnson wouldn't be a bad idea either. You get help in the interior and potential and tackle. I think that would honestly be a better option given the fact that, he's been doing a very good job. So I do like it. It says it's a C. They can kiss my ass, whoop-de-doo. Seattle, I think edge rusher is probably my primary concern. Do not go after a quarterback. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell I'm drafting one, especially if Geno's playing well. Offensive line, again, guard is the position to target, and I'm not doing that at pick 10. I know I just said I did with Paris Johnson, but that's in hopes of him becoming the tackle. Like, it's not, hey, I'm drafting a top 10 player, and, he's only going to play guard. I want him to play tackle. That's my dream. Save like $20 million, spend that elsewhere, and enjoy your money. But for Seattle, I'm not going to be drafting interior this early. Just pure interior this early. I'm not going to draft a corner because you guys have pointed out many times. Corner is just not a position Seattle targets early. As much as I would love to do it, I can't. So that really leaves me down to the defensive line. I think that's going to be the position to go after. Edge rusher, there's some incredible guys here. And I want to see if they have my favorite guy on the board. Do they have, like, my number 3 edge rusher? They're not going to. They have Grayson Murphy. They're not going to have this guy. I know it. Look at this. I am so stoked to just not have the dudes who I actually want to draft on here. Like, the whole entire reason I chose this as well, literally perfect. They have, like, 700 guys on here, but not the one I'm looking for. Gotta love it. This is why I'm dying for the Draft Network to come back. They just usually have so many better options. But I think edge rusher is the right way to go. I did this in my last mock draft. It's not going to be Adito Miwa. It is going to end up being Isaiah McGuire out of Missouri. I just don't know how you have 600 players, and now I don't even find 2 of my top guys. Incredible. Arizona. So I usually like to draft corner for you. You guys say that's not one of your primary concerns. Well, actually, no, excuse me. I drafted wide receiver because I still had the top 2 on the board, and I still think that's perfectly fine. I still think Quentin Johnston would be a great weapon. But it is true. Why spend first-round picks on wide receivers? Because you technically have done that. Like, you technically did that last year on Hollywood Brown. And then you also have DeAndre Hopkins. So 2 super weapons, and then you have a lot of really good players beside that. I understand. Offensive line, I certainly think, should be in the mix. And, again, John Michael Schmitz, I don't know if he's going to be there at 41. But I do think that going offensive line is the best way for the team to improve. And obviously, you guys trade for Cody Ford. You guys have shown that you have a need for it. I'm going to go Peter Skoronski here. He can play tackle. He can play guard. I do like that versatility, and it's another way of protecting your quarterback. He's going to be a very big asset in the run game, so I think that is key. Pick number 12, Chicago. You guys do not have your second-round pick. You have the Ravens. And I was originally super critical of that, but when I realized it's they overpaid and they knew they were because they were trying to outbid Green Bay. Then it started coming together. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So if the Bears are sitting here, you have your number 1 wide receiver. I think the best position to go is honestly offensive line. You just continue bolstering that offensive line. And Anton Harrison's a perfect dude for it. I do think that might be the best option. But I do want to give a shout out to my number 1 tackle, and I think I'm going to take him. It's not Wanya Morris. We're just going to take Wanya as a placeholder. It's going to be Javon Foster, tackle out of Missouri. Again, going Missouri guys. I'm super high on them. He's super athletic. He's probably the most athletic guy in the class, and he's been improving each and every week, and I love that. He showed out versus Georgia. To me, that was the one game he needed to prove that he was meant to be in the NFL, and he kicked ass. So for me, I love that. He did a lot better in that game than Broderick Jones did, who a lot of people think is amazing, including myself. So pick number 13. For the love of God, Green Bay, do something. I know Gutekunst is going to fuck this up, but we're going to make sure that he can't this time. Detroit sitting here at pick number 14. I think that you can probably just bring back another offensive weapon. Let's look at who's available in the edge room. Felix Anudike-Uzomah would be a really nice addition. Linebacker-wise, I could honestly wait. I really can. Like Jacoby Windman. Oh, there we go. We actually have somebody in here that I'd be looking for. Hallelujah. So, jokes aside, when you're sitting here at this spot, it's down to high value positions. It's down to edge and corner for me. And I do see some really good corners that I would love to put in here. I know Garrett Williams, apparently he's out for the year with an injury, so I'm probably sure he's not going to go in the top 20, but he still could be gone by pick number 32. That being said, I think that I could wait probably on that. So let's wait on the corner. Let's wait on the corner route. And I think edge rusher would be a good position to target. And I know we have Josh Pascal there. I loved his identity on the inside of the defensive front. So for me, I want to look at somebody who's still around that 260 mark, and that's Felix Anudike-Uzomah. And honestly, guys, you guys can still see, where's my mouse? There we go. You guys can see that I have Felix right here at number 13 overall on my board. And here he goes at number 14. He's improved tremendously as well. I'm always somebody, I was doubting Felix week after week after week, and people might say that's kind of fake for me to just totally flip. I don't really think so. I'm willing to say that I'm wrong, but based on last year's tape, he really wasn't that good. And the fact is, pressures don't matter at all. It matters how you get them. Because when you go to the NFL, it all goes to zero, baby. So it's really how you are able to produce pressure that is going to translate. And he's been able to improve his athleticism, improve his technique. Overall, that just makes me feel a lot more comfortable with him. Detroit would definitely love somebody who has that tenacity. And then he also does back it up with the production. So that's why I don't exactly quote production as one of my number one things. Pick number 15, Indianapolis. You have 2 picks because God knows you're not going to get another one for Wentz. So RIP to that. But, so pick number 15, you have to probably look at a quarterback. But again, it's impossible for me to choose one at this spot. Like, I know you're going to lose your shit. But, I mean, what, do you want me to draft another bust? I'd much rather wait to the second round and go after, I don't even know if Anthony Richardson's going to be included in this, and go after Tanner McKee at pick 46 or Hendon Hooker, whoever's there, rather than taking them here at this spot. And you do have quarterbacks in free agency. I know that hasn't really worked out the past couple of years, but it could. It certainly could. Just because something doesn't work twice doesn't mean it won't work a third. So, with that being said, I think offensive line is the best way to go. Let's go Anton Harrison here. He's a monster. Offensive line is one of the reasons Sam Ehlinger can't even do jack. So I think that's a good option. He can play left and right tackle as well. So I do like the fact that he can sub in wherever he needs to be. Pick number 16 for Cincinnati. I like going corner here now, and I'm going to show some love to my man, Jalen Jones, who I think is a perfect fit for this defense. He's extremely aware of whatever the hell is going on around him. He is locked down. I'm a huge fan of Jalen Jones. Pick number 17, New England. Been doing this for a little bit, continuing to do it. Jordan Addison definitely deserves to be a top 15 pick, but, it is what it is. Let's see. Who else is left on my board? We have, let's see. Wow, Jared Verse. Jared Verse is still on there. If you guys are wondering why I'm looking this way, it's where all my stuff is. So Jared Verse is on there, and then Garrett Williams, Antonio Johnson, Will McDonald. We have some dudes still here. But I'll scroll down for you guys so you guys get to take a quick peek at the other people. Yes, I moved Hendon Hooker up. There you go. I promised you guys. I'm starting to fully update my board. But we'll go, you guys can now see. We'll leave it right here because the majority of those guys are taken. Now Jared Verse is there at the top. So you guys get to have a quick peek at whoever is left. Washington sitting here at pick number 18. You just trade away one of your top corners. I think it's a desperate move to be able to go after another one. I love Christian Gonzalez. He does not fit what I'm looking for. Eli Ricks, I don't know if his playing time will certainly equate to him being able to come out. Offensive line is also a position where I would want to address it. Yeah, I would. I really would. So I don't think that's a bad position to target. Again, there technically could be quarterback. I'm not going to do that for you guys. But to me, I think edge rushers, no, I'm bugging. Corner is the position to target. And I'm willing to take a shot on Garrett Williams. I am. His skills are just out of this world. You can rest him a year. This team needs more time to get ready, to be honest. Pick number 19. This is another team that needs a corner. So I know you guys just traded. Who did you guys trade for? I'm bugging. He was from Kansas City, and it slipped my mind. So I'll remember it in a second, I'm sure. But Christian Gonzalez is going to be the long-term option for you guys. Rashad Fenton. There we go. So Rashad Fenton's not going to be a long-term. Christian Gonzalez is. I have all these guys. You can see right there. Where is Christian Gonzalez on mine? 26. He might even end up being higher. Like, guy's incredible. Huge fan of Christian Gonzalez. He's going to be a nice man-to-man corner for you guys. Pick number 20, Denver. So via Miami. Well, no, that's totally false. Via Miami from San Francisco. For these guys, I mean, I don't really know exactly where I would target. I would like to go offensive line here. I would. Broderick Jones is on the table. I think this is where I'd take a shot on Broderick Jones. I do think offensive line is going to be your best way to recoup your team. You invested so much into Russell Wilson. The least you can do is give him less excuses by saying, hey, you at least have a pocket. I know the left tackle situation's fine with Garrett Bowles, but that right tackle spot, I think that could totally be solved with someone like Broderick Jones being able to move over there. At Georgia, there's a lot of guys who shift around quite a bit, so I think that he would have a very nice foundation to continue to succeed. Pick number 21 via the Chargers. I think that you could go after a wide receiver here. Jackson Smith-Njigba certainly is somebody who is on that list, is somebody who I'd be very, very intrigued with. A linebacker is another position I would like to target. I think he'll be there at 52, though. Jackson Smith-Njigba certainly doesn't give you that deep option, and he doesn't really provide very much upside. But Keenan Allen's getting older. He's getting more injury prone. I think he's a perfect replacement for Keenan, so I think that'd be a good spot to go. So screw this. They're completely batshit crazy. Okay, Dita Miwa would be a D+ at that spot too. I agree. Pick number 22, we have the Seattle Seahawks with their own pick. I think linebacker is probably the best move for this team. Noah Sewell's not the number one linebacker in the class. I would be very intrigued with taking Jacoby Windman here. I love him. He is my number one linebacker in the class. I think that his potential is through the roof, and the way this defense has been developing, I don't really think you can get much worse at a second linebacker position. So I am going to take a big swing and see what can happen with someone who I think is very Micah Parsons-esque. Pick number 23, the New York Jets. Another team that could honestly use a linebacker, and Trent Simpson's here. I know offensive line, Olu Fashanu's here. I like that. We're going to go Olu Fashanu. I really want to go Trent Simpson, but Olu Fashanu's a beast. I like him. Baltimore now has Roquan Smith, so RIP to my pick for them. Corner is definitely going to be my next favorite move. Cam Smith fits perfectly. The Kansas City Chiefs, it's down to an edge rusher or defensive interior. Tyree Wilson definitely deserves to be in that consideration because he can also move inside. And I think that's a very solid move for the team. He is 275 pounds at 6'6". He flashes a lot, has a lot of hype, so I think that's a good spot for them to go. Dallas Cowboys wanted to go after a wide receiver, and they were not able to acquire one. Therefore, get out of here. Wide receiver is going to be the position that I am going to primarily target. Xavier Hutchinson is a good guy for me to get here, but I think we'll hold off. We'll hold off till the next round on a wide receiver. We're going to go after a DB, and I assume they're going to have him in safety. They have to. So you got Antonio Johnson here, but I really like the idea of Brian Branch on this squad. I love that versatility. He just brings a lot to the table. So I think that having that versatility gives a little bit more value. Over a Swiss Army knife that I have, where is he at? Number, I'm bugging, 15 on my board. So we still have our number 9 overall player. So, he should be going sometime soon. And he will. I don't know if he goes in the first, though. I don't see many of these teams dying for an edge rusher. So the Giants. This is a good spot for Trent Simpson. Let's take it right there. I like that. Tennessee. I mean, this is honestly a team that could use an edge rusher. They paid both of theirs, but they're never healthy. It doesn't really help very much. But offensive tackle, I do like Darnell Wright. And he played really well versus Alabama. We're going to go Darnell Wright. He plays right tackle and left. Same thing like Nicholas Petit-Ferrer. I think that's a very good spot to go. And Tennessee is, I think, ranked number 1 in the country. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that. I was like, ooh. I don't know. I don't know if it was, I know they're playing Georgia, but I thought I said number 1 Tennessee, number 3 Georgia, which would be ridiculous. I did not keep up with that. Regardless, Minnesota is up on the board. I would love to go tight end for them, but they simply just gave me the middle finger and said we're going to get that ourselves. I think corner definitely is a good position to go after for them. Tyreek Stevenson still is on my list of my favorite players to take for this team. And we'll honestly, let's take a quick peek over at my own rankings. Let's see who's left on the corner position board. Let's clear all that crap and go right there. Therefore, you guys can see, if it says unscouted, that doesn't mean I haven't looked at them. It just means I haven't done my bitch-ass hours of study on these guys. I really don't have anybody except Tyreek Stevenson who still should fall. And with that, I think we can be perfectly fine going after Tyreek at this point. I do think DB, obviously, I love the way my last mock draft fell, and you ended up being able to just totally nab a top-tier player in Cam Smith. But I think that Tyreek Stevenson literally is Patrick Peterson. So it's a pretty damn good fit, isn't it? Pick number 30, we got Buffalo. And Buffalo getting Antonio Johnson is ridiculous. So we're gonna forget that ever happened. I still two of my favorite players that the Eagles could have grabbed right before them. Myles Murphy and Antonio Johnson are low key my favorites. And then of course, kill me. Well, I'm not even going to discuss it. We're not discussing it. Y'all know we're not discussing it. The second round has begun. Eagles, God, I swear to God, I do not do this on purpose. But Detroit, at this spot, I know DB would be a great position to target, and there are some dudes who I certainly do love for this team. One of those being Clark Phillips, but Emmanuel Forbes too. They're a little bit thin for my taste. So I'm going to get some help on the interior of the defensive line. I'm going to go Brian Bryce here. He has a lot of hype, so got to show a little bit of love there where love is due. Houston, we've not gone after an edge rusher, and my number 9 player in the draft is still on the board. So we're going to be going Jared Verse here out of Florida State. Now we can move this down. And I'm trying to see who else is not on the board anymore. You got Andre Carter and Andrew Vore. He's in here, and Will McDonald. So we're going to just do there. You guys get to see a little bit more of my board. We'll leave it at Andre Carter for you guys. So, Pittsburgh, we're back. We got Jalen Carter already. I think going after offensive line probably is the best move. I don't think there's anybody left, though. So, honestly, if you can't get an offensive tackle, probably look at corner. Clark Phillips would be good. Emmanuel Forbes would be good. I think Eli Ricks, we're going to say he comes out, and this is a good range for him to go. He's a baller. I know offensive line certainly should be a position we go after, but, man, I'm telling you, the Steelers, we got William Jackson. Wonderful. We traded a 7th-round pick for him in 2025. You need to get help. Obviously, the Steelers just telegraphed that we need help. So Eli Ricks is going to be that long-term option for us. Jacksonville already went a corner, and I do think this is a good spot for interior offensive line. One of those guys, Osiris Torrance, would be an awesome fit. I like Andrew Vore. He's a little bit more. He's a 6th-year senior. He comes in. You need Trevor Lawrence to succeed. I'm not going to wait to see if a guy is able to pan out. Pick number 36. John Michael Schmitz might be a very good option here. I don't exactly remember what your center situation is like, so if you guys could let me know, that'd be awesome. But this is a good spot to go after a quarterback. You got Hendon Hooker here. Why not? I know PJ Walker's doing well, but we know PJ is not the franchise guy. Let's go after Hendon Hooker. Let's enjoy it. Pick number 37, Vegas, went after Will Levis. Defensive interior, offensive line, those are my 2 positions I want to go. I see Osiris Torrance here. I'm taking him all day, every day. John Michael Schmitz is probably better, but Torrance has that extra ceiling to him. Pick number 38, New Orleans on the board, finally. Y'all need a quarterback, and I wish I could have given you Hendon Hooker because that would have been fun. But we're going to go, Cam Ward has more of a ceiling. We're going to go Tanner McKee. So, again, you need somebody to do something right, and he's a really good game manager. I think it's a good way to at least show that you're trying to improve your team. It's probably not the end-all, be-all, but we'll see. When I do a re-eval on Tanner McKee, we'll see how it goes. But so far this year, I haven't seen a lot where I would be totally sold on him being a first-round pick. Cleveland is on the board. You could definitely get a number 2 wide receiver here. I don't know if Kayshon Boutte is going to come out. If he does, awesome. If he doesn't, RIP. Andre Carter. So the edge rush group just got even better. He's super raw, and he had a really good 2021, but this year he's just taken a bit of a drop. To me, that's a little bit concerning. So you see him right there. It's right there. But yeah, I think that there's plenty of room to grow, and that probably pushes him down the board a little bit. Pick number 40. So Seattle has gone after an edge rusher in Isaiah McGuire and a linebacker in Jacoby Windman, who's also one of those guys who could be an edge rusher as well. So to me, I want to still look at a potential corner here. I know you guys say we don't target those that early, but I do think it's a good spot to look. However, John Michael Schmitz is here, and that is my dream for the team. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Arizona. I'm so sorry. Oh, I just screwed you over. Oh, I'm so sorry. Damn. Well, RIP to Arizona. That would have been the perfect pick. I would still do it. Peter Skoronski and John Michael Schmitz. Also, I just screwed over my Steelers because that would have been my pick as well. Arizona, if you are sitting here, I still think DB should be a position you do target. I do like Emmanuel Forbes here, definitely. He is a pick six machine. Chris Abrams-Drain, he plays purely slot. I don't like that at all for you guys. Byron Murphy's been doing a good job. Clark Phillips is a very good player as well. We'll go with Clark because he does play on the boundary. I think that's a good value. The Steelers, let's see. Well, let's see if we can find a Steelers level player. Obviously, we could go after Kayshon Boutte and just see what happens. I might do that because the Steelers just somehow nab a dude every single second round. Let's do it. Let's have some fun here. Steelers go and grab Kayshon Boutte. He's had some issues in terms of the locker room. That doesn't seem to be a problem for the Steelers. We just end up trading those guys away for picks anyway, so woot woot. The Packers are on the board, and if the Packers got Quentin Johnston in the first, I think a good position to target in the second would be a line if they were there, which they aren't. Tight end, I think, would be the next position to go after. Michael Mayer's on the board. To me, it's a no-brainer. Tampa Bay got Myles Murphy. And quarterback is kind of, we're saying Anthony Richardson's not coming out. He's so not ready. There's no quarterback I would take at this spot. So I think the best thing to do is probably just get BPA. And you have some good linebackers here. I think that would be a good position to target. Edge rusher we've already gone after. And again, offensive line, I've diminished pretty much everybody who's worth it. I know a lot of people like Steve Avila. I haven't been able to study him yet. But the rest of the guys, I know Luke Whippler has a lot of hype to him, so there might be he might make an appearance in this, but it's tough. This is a tough spot to be in, because personally, I don't really like any of the options. I would personally want to trade out. Tight end, though, is certainly a good position to go after. I don't think the tight end position is very filled at all. Sam Laporta, as you guys can see, is going to be he's right here. He's my number one tight end, so big fan of him. Rams are finally picking. They somehow tried to trade their 2055 first-round pick for Brian Burns and their 2056. So, they're definitely in the market for an edge rusher as well as a running back. But if you're in the mood for an edge rusher, to me, I'm going to go back to my old faithful right here, and that is going to be Will McDonald IV. Very similar size to Brian Burns. And I think he's like 90% of Kayvon Thibodeau. If you can get that in the second round, that's a really, really good pick. Pick number 46. So RIP the Colts' chances of getting a top-tier quarterback. Again, Anthony Richardson, not going to be the guy who I choose. We are going to be going Cameron Ward here out of Washington State. His flashes are incredible. It's very Malik Willis-y, so I think that'd be a good position to go. Jordan Addison was the first selection for the Patriots, so going back to the well, I think that this team could certainly look at offensive tackle. I know Isaiah Wynn was in talks of being traded, so definitely a position I'd be concerned with. However, edge rusher, never a bad thing to do. Foskey certainly is on people's list. Not on mine, because I just restudied him, and he was not too bueno. But I'm trying to think. Let's find my top-tier edge rushers who are left on the board. I love B.J. Ojulari. Anybody else? No. BJ is my next guy, and I think that's actually a really good fit for this team. So I think that's the best spot that we could go. Let's see. Let's scroll down here so you guys get to, enjoy a little bit more of the big board. Pick number 48. We already got Garrett Williams, a nice DB to add to this Washington core. Again, offensive line. We could go Steve Vila here. We could have a little bit of fun with him. I think linebacker, getting a true Mike would be a good option as well. Have a true commander of the defense. Drew Sanders is a top-tier linebacker. I think that'd be a good addition. Make the identity the defense again, because that's really what can win a championship when you do have someone like Sam Howell who's up and coming as a quarterback. Pick number 49. The Bengals are back, and I do think tight end. They've shown that they do like these mobile, athletic tight ends. Jaheim Bell is the guy for me. Pick number 50. So Will Anderson, Hendon Hooker are on the squad, and I think those were very good picks. I do like those a lot in retrospect. So when analyzing where else I could target here, again, we could look at offensive line. Running back is a great position for me to target because you have some studs, and you just replace Christian McCaffrey with someone who's very similar in skill set, Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm giving A+ to the Carolina Panthers draft. Atlanta, Christian Gonzalez, corner number 2, selected. Again, I think you could go wide receiver for sure. There's some really good guys who are there on the board. Xavier Hutchinson for 1. Where's Justin Shorter? I swear to God, I'm gonna flip my lid. They better have him. They better have him. They're not gonna have him. I already know they're not going to. Oh, there's Brew McCoy on here. That'd be pretty cool. R.I.P. Micah Pittman. He didn't die. He just went to Oaks and then went away, and then he's not having success. Regardless, yeah, they didn't have him. I just had to prove a point. This is why I don't use these mock draft simulators. If you are here at 51, I'd want to go after an edge rusher. Nolan Smith's out for the year. I don't believe in Isaiah Foskey. I think ZTF is my next favorite guy, and I got to remember that. So we're going right here to position group. We're going to filter it. Yes, this is why I actually have this sheet, so I can filter. ZTF's my next guy. You do have Derek Hall in there. I'm just not a fan of Foskey at all. That's just me. I do have Tyree Wilson way too low on this. It's not fully updated. So we'll select all here and then have that back to where it is and then let you guys enjoy seeing the rest of that list. Regardless, I think ZTF wouldn't be a bad option, but I'm not comfortable going after him for this squad. Running back certainly is a position where I would like to go. Devon Achane or Blake Corum are the 2 guys I think would be best. And based on the fact that I don't really know when you're going to end up not having Cordell Patterson, I kind of want to get a good back. And I know Huntley's there, but Blake Corum has just been doing such a good job, and I really do have to reward him for that. The Chargers are on the board. It's honestly a team that could have taken Blake Corum, but linebacker is going to be the guy I go after. I do like Noah Sewell. I think that he could definitely be the guy who I want to go after, and he's going to be. It's a good pick. It's a late second. Pick number 53. Linebacker is another good position here, and I hate Henry Toto. I say he's a 5th at best, if not UDFA. Ivan Pace might be the dude who I'd go after for them, but let's look at other positions. So safety, I love Jail Skinner. We're going to go Jail Skinner here. He can actually play as a linebacker as well. He's in my top 25, so you guys can't see that anymore, but really big fan of him. Miami finally is on the board. You guys also have new running back help, and, you spent like a 5th round pick on that, which is just what you do. Tight end certainly is a position I really want to look at. You do have some really good options on the board. Josh Wiley, most underrated tight end in college, most underused as well. I think Dalton Kincaid could be that guy who's that slot tight end where you're looking for someone like Gesicki. He's the entire offense of, he's like literally the entire offense of Utah. So I think it'd be a good position. Seattle Seahawks are back. I do think you could try to just go BPA here, but there's not many positions to go after. Gervon Dexter's great value here. I do have him as a late first. So just continue bolstering that front. Chicago, you went after my favorite tackle, Javon Foster. Hallelujah. Not Wanya Morris. So this pick probably could be continuing to bolster that receiving core. And going after Xavier Hutchinson, I think would be a very good option for the team. Sure hands, now you have a nice trio there to last you a long time. Kansas City, I think going after a defensive line again, Tyree Wilson's a guy who's an edge rusher. Tyler Davis would be great. Tyree Wilson, Tyler Davis would make me so ecstatic. So I'm a big fan of that. Corner is going to be the position who I really want to target for the Giants, and they're great at drafting these slot corners and putting them boundary. I think Emmanuel Forbes could do that. The Cowboys went DB already, so if I am going to go for a position for them, I think wide receiver is a good one. And this one is a guy who's not even listed. So RIP to that. Jalen Hyatt would be fun, and I could technically introduce him here, but I'm not going to. It's not Parker Washington. It's going to be Justin Shorter, who's going to test out of his mind at 6'4", 230 pounds. I'm a huge fan of him. The Titans, I mean, man, what do the Titans even need to do? Wide receiver, I think, is a position I love to target for you guys, so I'm going to. I think adding in Jalen Hyatt would be a nice addition. You know what? Let's have some fun. We'll add in Jalen Hyatt here. Keep him in Tennessee from Knoxville going to Nashville. Detroit, more picks. Just crazy. Even more picks. We already ended up getting Bryce Young, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, as well as Brian Bresee. I think this could be a good spot to go after a wide receiver or a linebacker. So I want to look at Daiyan Henley here because he's been balling out. He's a really good player. Daiyan Henley could certainly be the option for this team. You need linebacker help, and he has some crazy flashes. So let's have some fun and add him in here. Pick number 62. I know I have like a lot of guys on here who I have not even taken, like Tyron Hopper. But Tyron Hopper wouldn't be the guy I'd go after for Detroit. That's not where I would try to focus my efforts. But if I am Buffalo, I mean, Zach Evans would fit really well into the scheme. I'm going to go Zach Evans. I know you guys just traded a fifth for Nyheim Hines, but you just need to get that guy who can just plow through the hole. And you got corner and running back for the Eagles. There's just some top-tier edge rushers still on the board. You have your pick of the litter here. And looking at it, like, again, let's just take a quick peek at who, like, my edge rushing rankings one more time. And this doesn't spoil the list because of the fact that I have not fully updated this big board. But you got Derek Hall, you got ZTF in here. No one else is extremely high. And yes, you can see how high I am on certain players and who I still have to watch. So, man, it's down to Derek Hall and Zion. And I really like the potential of Zion Tupuloa-Fatui here to end off this draft. So we're going to do that. And it says Detroit has another pick. I mean, hell, if we were going to start off the third round, let's just go after a corner. I know Witherspoon actually has a lot of potential, and people like him a lot, but I'm going to go after Chris Abrams-Drain to end it off. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wanted to make this a long video for you guys, so you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.